If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Oh, house on the road, subscribers and followers. Lady commented on my YouTube channel the other day that she really did not realize how emotional it was going to be to leave everything she knows. Her possessions, her neighbors, her friends. She actually recited the Serenity Prayer in the comment. And she says, I wish more people would talk about the emotional sides of this lifestyle. And I'm really glad she found our channel, because I do talk about these things quite a bit. Obviously, we've been at this for 1.5 years now, so all these emotional things have kind of died down with me. But I also have not had the emotional breakdown of leaving behind these things. I can describe to you what it is that you are leaving behind. And if you're not prepared how devastating this could be, it is going to have a huge effect on you. I would suspect that in 6 months, you're going to know if you can handle what you've just left. That would be my suspicion, because 6 months seems to be the breaking point. Everything that you just got rid of to downsize, to me, was very emotional. It was very difficult. And we only had 2 weeks to do it. That was our problem. Everything that we wanted to own in life had to fit in a pop-up camper. When you really start to break that down and you really start to look at all the things you're going to have to give up, that really has an emotional toll on you. I mean, I had a hobby. I absolutely loved the hobby. But the hobby was going to be so much weight. It wasn't a lot of space, but weight. The hobby was going to be several hundred pounds to carry around. And the chances of me actually being able to do the hobby on the road, completely unlikely. And that was one of the hardest things for me to wrap my head around. It was I was going to get rid of this hobby. Okay, this house that you have worked your entire life for. And all these memories that were in this house. Your children growing up. Your grandchildren coming and visiting you. The Thanksgiving dinners. The Christmases. All these memories you're giving up to go travel the country. On the risk that you may not actually like it. You can't get those memories back. You can't get that house back. Are the memories that you're getting ready to have, traveling, going to be able to overcome the memories that you've left behind? Friends. Now, I'm an introvert, so I don't have a lot of friends, and it wasn't a very huge loss for me to leave. I mean, I've traveled the country quite a bit in my life. I've only, I was in the Navy, I've lived in Iowa, I've lived in Missouri, I've just kind of lived everywhere. And so leaving people behind isn't a big thing. When I left high school, I did have a group of friends, and over time, all those friends I don't talk to anymore. I just don't talk to any of them. I can't hardly remember anybody on Facebook. Somebody just recently friended me, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Obviously, you went to the same high school, but I have no idea. Well, if I was really attached to these folks, and over time you start to lose those friends, that would be very, very hurtful. Perhaps you were a member of a social club that you attended once a week. Maybe you were a coach of a little league team, soccer team, something like that. And you really got to know the people, the parents. You became friends, and you look forward to seeing these guys each year. Well, you're going to give all that up. And you have to really figure out, is the lifestyle going to replace the whole of losing those folks? Now, one of the things that was really, and has always been hard for me, is learning a new area. When you have a house, and you've been there for some time, you know where the cheapest prices are. You know, the grocery store that has the best meats. You know the gas station that you always use is just down the road. You know where your favorite hangout spots are. You know where the great parks are. Whatever your interest is, you know. Well, as you travel, you don't know any of those things. And it's not like you're going to get on Google and you're going to find out where the best meats are. It takes time to find these things. And as you know, in my videos, I talk a lot about staying in an area as long as possible to reduce our costs. Well, that is one of the reasons, is to find out, where the cheapest meats are, the cheapest foods, all the resources we need. And that way I don't have to travel around all the time looking for all these things. But one of the things that really caught my eye on this subject was, here in the state of Missouri, I know where all the dumps are, the trash dumps, the dumps. I know where these places are. When the pop-up camper burned down and we had to cut it up to pieces and load it up in a trailer, had my father not been able to help us because we were in Florida, he lives in Florida, we would have had to have driven forever because he took us to a dump that he knew just down the road. But when I Googled it, the only dump that actually showed up was 50 miles away. Also, he knew somebody that had a trailer that we could use the pieces of pop-up camper into. I wouldn't have had that opportunity. We would have had to run around looking for everything. This is my point when I say I know where everything is in this state, because in this state, like I said, I know where the dumps are, I know where the U-Haul places are, I even can ask people for a trailer. I know people in this state that would have a trailer. So when you leave, all of a sudden you don't have a wide network of resources and contacts and that you can call upon very quickly. This, in my mind, is having lost those contacts and those resources and the knowledge of where these things are and the knowledge of what these prices are, still to this day, very hard for me to accept. Going to a new location, man, I absolutely hate it. I hate it so bad until I can get acclimated to a little bit with my surroundings. Went to a place in Nebraska and I had no idea where we were at. I mean, how far the towns were. I mean, I could see them on the map, how far the towns are, but I don't know what's in these towns. Do I go to this town or do I go to this town to go get meat? And I spent so much time researching, trying to find where all these things are so I can just go down on one trip, pick it up. Now, one of the hardest things for Carolyn was leaving her grandbabies and her kids. She can't just stop and go and visit them. So these things are, and give a hug. I mean, we can see her on, over the internet, but to, just give her a big hug. These things are really hard for Carolyn. So try to recognize when you go and do things and visit people, realize, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. And see if you're going to be able to live without that loss. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.